Hello! I am the all-powerful narrator, and my voice is the one that will take you on a fantastic journey. And this is my deeply unimportant assistant, don't mind her. We will be taking you through time, through space, following the line of the fandom culture. For as long as we've had things to be fans of, we've been fans. Our story begins with the Freak Show. In the beginning, there were freak shows. Yes, long ago when we were becoming fans of things, we were into things like unicorns and heavily tattooed men, and of course, your traditional bearded ladies. All of which were titled freaks or oddities. And these are just a few varieties of the freaks from that age. And all of these freaks were things that everyone could oogle and ogle and line up to go see. How are people fans though? Well, collector cards of freaks were available, meaning you could take your experience home with you and yes, even collect them all. Sound familiar already? Just wait, it gets better. In this early time of fandoms, there was a gender divide. Nice young gentlemen could enjoy the freak shows, but they were simply too graphic for the Gentile lady at the time, and thus the women were excluded. But alas, the freak show dies out, and people move on. No one wants fake unicorns or fake ladies anymore. After 100 years or so of moving on, almost simultaneously we see the Rolling Stones and the Beatles breaking onto the music scene, and into the hearts and minds of millions. They reinvent again how and what people are fans of. And this shift, perhaps, can be pointed to as some of the first large groups we now call fandoms. The British invasion had been making men grow out their hair and women swoon since 1963. But the Beatles had to go out of style, and the masses, once again, would move on. Star Trek. The age of science fiction on the small screen had finally arrived. Star Trek's audience in those early days was dominantly women, and it presented attractive men for the housewives in the 1960s. We had Spock, Scotty, and the infamous Captain Kirk on our favorite ship, the Enterprise. And really, who wouldn't fall in love with a guy like Kirk? Pretty ladies in the short skirts and the men in red captured the hearts of millions. Star Trek became a household name, with spin-offs and reboots all the way to the present day. This is again where we can see large groups of people rallying around a common idea. The love of Star Trek ran deep, promoting the creation of fans all over the world. There is a good reason that it has continued for so long as a franchise. There are still so many fans, it's just also darn beautiful. I could cry. The next big thing to hit the screens was Star Wars, and the special effects of the time made huge waves in the cinema industry. The order of movies may be confusing, but not the themes they tackle. Fans are plenty and everywhere, and entirely willing to debate the merits of a particular character. All along, conventions were beginning and picking up steam. The most famous is the Worldcon, which is a science fiction convention that began in 1949 for fans of the science fiction book genre. It has run every year since and celebrates people being fans of science fiction and fantasy. There were of course some sad years and ages where Worldcon could not run, and this was a blow to fan communities. But it has always come back, and the next Worldcon is being held in Kansas this year. As time goes on, fans change and grow, and fandom uses technology to express their love of all things nerdy. It has evolved to usage forms such as Facebook, Twitter, and of course, MySpace for any of you who remember those good old days. But they have nothing on the great overlord of the internet, the leader of user-generated content, our holy god, YouTube. YouTube is a place where the users become the creators. People who work on YouTube, also known as YouTubers, build a following and become very, very successful. Some YouTubers are even fans themselves, so they are fans of fans making stuff for fans. Famous YouTubers include, but are not limited to, PewDiePie, Nigahiga, Zoella, Superwoman, and the Vlog Brothers, all who make popular content on YouTube. YouTube thrives on people watching people do things they like. Everything from the beauty guru, showing you how to do makeup and make your hair look awesome, gamers, and yes, that is Luigi racing Toad on Super Mario. There's also the educational TED Talks, as well as personalities, ranging from everybody from the British, such as Dan and Phil, to some Americans, including the Vlogbrothers. YouTube encompasses so much and many more. People enjoy being fans, but they also enjoy being fans in a community, so they can share their fandom with others on a variety of platforms across the internet. Creator and user-generated content made more venues for fans to get together and love the things they love on the internet, as well as in real life. We've mentioned Worldcon, the first convention of its kind. Now there is also other kinds of cons, such as VidCon for YouTube, Playlist Live for YouTube, Bufferfest for Canadian YouTube, NerdCon, celebrating how humans communicate, Comic-Con, which encompasses many fandoms, Fan Expo for all the fandoms, and of course GeekFest also for all of the fandoms. These are places where nerds of all kinds gather and meet each other, as well as their idols in real life. The internet communities, particularly YouTube, are driven by real people with real passion, and these venues allow for a new kind of connection with the audiences and the fans. Isn't it amazing? So, what does this all mean? And where does it come from? Beatlemania and even Star Trek show us that women made up the majority of fans at the time. But in the beginning, women were excluded from the freak shows and some public exhibits. It's been a long road for women as fans. Historically, we can see that women's pop culture can be less celebrated, and it takes a large shift in fanbase for the perceptions to change. And perhaps we can see similar shifts from nerdy to mainstream today. In order to explain, allow my assistant to show you a graph she just made up, illustrating the ideas of popularity. The Avengers, a notable superhero team from the pages of comic books, suddenly exploded onto the mainstream movie scene. When it was only a comic book, though, they were for nerds, right? But the movies brought in the fanbase to include many more people. But if you change the Avengers to Star Trek, you see that the fanbase starting out as women and shifting later with the reboots into the mainstream area. There was way more people as soon as we accepted by the majority, leaving questions about the role of women in fandom, then and now. Fandoms and artists within them are great at expressing their love through art. They also bring up important questions about their communities. While you may have the basic fandom drawings on sites such as DeviantArt, where you see people draw dragons and make profiles to share this stuff that they love and draw things of it from their favorite shows, such as the infamous door from 221B Baker Street, the fandoms will go into detail and explore much more that many are not acknowledging. Like representation. Why has Wonder Woman always been white? Or even, why aren't there more female lead superhero movies in the mainstream? They deserve the representation just as much as men do in the main media. Also, gender. Does the wise character always have to be a dude? Because many people know women can sometimes be even wiser than a guy at most times in life. And finally, heterosexuality. We don't often see love represented outside of heterosexual norms in the mainstream. Where are these stories, and how can they be told beyond the interweb? These are all very pervasive questions in the realms of fandom, and they do their best to explore this as much as possible and also petition to see more representation, which is amazing considering. But what even is a fandom, and what does it all really come down to? That money, those dollar bills for days! It's all a consumer's paradise though. Many fandoms come together to create beautiful things, but they also create good in the world with charities like Project for Awesome, which encourages a community called Nerdifiers to advocate charities. The Harry Potter Alliance is a group of fans of the Harry Potter franchise who want to do good in the world and based on the values of the stories. Thumos, another Harry Potter Alliance kind of charity. And all of them supported by fans, wanting to do better. There are also other causes out there, such as Tab for a Cause, which puts your internet server to good use and donates all the revenue to charities. Keep in mind this goes beyond these four groups, as creators and fans get involved in many ways everywhere. It's so broad and all-inclusive, there's no way we could cover all the fandoms in just this little section. But you know what it all comes down to? Money, money for days. But what makes all of this run? How do we have things like YouTube? And what about Marvel? Where are they getting this money from, this ability to continue to grow? Well, it's the fans. Fans make the money go round and the things that keep on coming. Without the fans, we wouldn't have things like cons. It would even go beyond that. It goes beyond that. It goes to TV and comics and books, and even beyond that to art and movies and even Tumblr. All of this can't exist without fans. Overall, fans are amazing. From YouTube, the Beatles, the Rolling freaking Stones, to PF4A, to Star Trek, to Star Wars, to everything beyond that even, to whiskers and quality and unicorns and freak shows. Everything comes down to one thing that allows all this beautifulness to happen, that allows this circle of life to continue. And what is it you say? It's the fans. The fans allow this to continue and grow. It's just so beautiful, isn't it?
Who is he even talking to? I don't even know. Just smile and nod.